Hello, this is Lisa from Happy Stamp, and today we're going to make this really cute chicken card. This is using the stamp set Hey Chick from the Celebration brochure. You can get this stamp set free along with, I think there's like 15 or 16 other items. For every $50 you spend, no limit, you can get a celebration item. And there are, I guess I don't have my brochure up here. But there are a lot of different items to choose from. There's some glimmer paper that just came out, I believe on the 21st or the 22nd. That is awesome. I don't have it yet, but it is on its way. Can't wait to get that. But this is the stamp set that we are going to be using, and this is the card that we are going to be making. Isn't it so cute? I just love these chickens. I saw this stamp set for the first time back in November when we went to Onstage in Milwaukee, and it was just like, oh my goodness, it was so cute. First thing that caught my eye when I opened the catalog. I decided to make a white chicken. My grandma and grandpa, whose house I used to live at, I don't anymore, but I used to raise chickens, and they used to raise the white chickens, which I believe are leghorn chickens, if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to make a white chicken. You can color it any color you want to. I'm going to color it white. All right, so the first thing that we're going to start out with is a piece of Cajun Craze that is 8.5 by 5.5, and I have scored that in down the middle at 4.25, and take my bone folder here and give that a good crease so that it lays flat. We're going to need a piece of Whisper White that is 3 3/4 by 5. We're going to take the hexagon folder. That's how I got the little chicken wire in the back there. And what I did was, you're going to take your hexagon folder. You're going to turn it over so that the Stampin' Up side, the little logo right here, is on the bottom. Okay? It's on the bottom. Open it up. You're going to take your basic black archival ink pad, and this may stain your folder a little bit, but it's not going to hurt it. If you, when we're done with it, I'm going to wipe it off real quick just because it is stained a little bit already from me using it, but it's not going to hurt. As long as you get all the ink off of it, the staining's not going to hurt it. You're going to take your ink pad, and you want to make sure you do it on this side, because if you do it on that side, it's not going to work. And you're going to drag it very, very lightly, because we do not want it down in the divots. We're going to drag it very lightly across the top of the folder. Okay, just very, very lightly. Okay, now I'm going to, would not hurt it if you got ink over here, because it's not going to be on the paper. The paper's smaller than the ink pad, but I don't want it on my Big Shot platform. So I'm just using, this is a chamois, and I'm just using a chamois to get the ink off of there. Now, turn it back around. This is the part that is not inked. You're going to take your little piece of paper that was 3 3/4 by 5. You're going to lay it flat right here. Make sure you get it as straight as you can. And you're just going to lay this right on top. Okay? Now you're going to bring in your Big Shot. You're going to need your Big Shot platform. You're going to put your folder right on top. You only need one cutting pad for this type of folder because it is a 3D folder. Sorry about that. Put that right on top there, and we're going to roll this through. Okay? We're going to bring that back in a minute, but for right now, we'll get it out of the way. Okay? Then we're going to open this up. And I must have got it in the little divots there, but I'm not going to worry about it because the little chick, I can put the little chick down here and it'll be fine. So that's why you see you want to do it very, very lightly. And then I'm just going to take my chamois real quick and I'm going to wipe this off. And then when I'm done with the video, I'm going to take it and I'm going to just run it under water just to make sure that I got it all nice and clean. But like I said, if it does stain it, it is not going to hurt it. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to set it aside because I'm going to do a little splattering on it, but I don't want to get my workspace all messy right at the moment. Okay, so this piece of Whisper White is 2.5 by 3. It doesn't have to be exactly this size because I am going to be cutting it out with our stitched frames, framelits. Sorry about that. So I'm going to take my basic black again. I'm going to take my Leghorn chicken here. And we're going to ink that up. And I'm just going to put this right in the middle here. Alrighty. I am going to wipe this off also, just to get as much of the ink off as possible. What a difference a week makes. Last week, if you saw my video, it was 70 degrees, sunny. I had the windows open. It was beautiful. Today, it is about 35 degrees. It's still sunny and beautiful, but it's cold. Okay, so for this little chick here, I'm going to use, this is the first time I've used my watercolor pencils. These are, we used to have these a long time ago, and we just got a set back in the New Occasions catalog. These are watercolor pencils. It's got all these different colors in it. I am going to use the Real Red for his little, I don't have any idea what this little thingy on top is called, but I'm going to fill that in with the Real Red and his little gobbler thing or whatever that is. I don't know if it's the same on a turkey as it is on chicken. I'm going to put that on there. And with the Daffodil Delight, I'm going to color in his beak here. Then with the basic gray, this is optional because you can see it, but I mean, you know, you can, I think, or at least I can. All right, so I'm going to take the basic gray and I'm just going to lightly, very lightly scribble over the little accents of the feathers here. I'm not even going to do it over here, just a little bit over here. Okay, and then I'm going to take my blender pen. You want to make sure it's clean, so all you do is just wipe it off, make sure it's clean. I'm going to do the red first, and this just smooths out the coloring. You could also use a aqua painter if you wanted to, but this is Whisper White, so you want to be very light-handed with any kind of water that you're putting on this paper, and this is included with this. You want to do it very lightly because it will pill. And then I'm just going to take this very lightly, and it kind of pulls out the gray. And like I said, you want to do this very lightly, and you don't want to do it for very long because the paper will pill. So it just kind of pulled out the gray a little bit. And then make sure you clean it off for the next time. All right, so we're going to take this. We're going to take our stitched shapes. I'm going to use the squares. I'm going to use the largest square with garden green and the second to the largest for this one. So we can cut those both at the same time. I'm going to bring my Big Shot back in. We're going to need our Big Shot platform. We're going to need our thin die adapter. We're going to need a cutting pad. I'm going to need a piece of garden green. And this one's going to go on here. That one doesn't matter if it's straight or not because we're just cutting out the shape. This one we want to make sure that it's fairly straight. All right, then we will put our other cutting pad on top and run that through. Sorry about the shaking. All right. So we're going to have this piece of garden green, this piece of whisper white, and I do believe we are done with our big shot cutting. These out of here. All right, so we're going to take back our piece of Cajun Craze. I'm going to bring in a piece of garden green. That is 4 1/4, 4 1/8, I'm sorry, 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And this is garden green. And I'm just going to put that on the front of the card here, trying to leave an even border on all 4 sides. Okay. I need a new cutting blade on my trimmer. It's starting to leave little frays. All right, we're going to take our piece of, no we're not yet, because we're going to do a little splattering on this. Now, I took an acrylic block, and this is going to stain because this is the black, basic black archival ink. But, so I'm just going to use this as my designated splatter block from now on. You're going to take a little of your ink and you're just going to put it on your block like that. You could also use your basic black re-inker if you wanted to. You're going to take your aqua painter. We're going to mix it up. Put some water on there. I put a couple drops of water, mix it up real good. And then we're going to bring in our paper here and we're just going to splatter. Okay, that is it. And to get your aqua painter clean, where did my paper towel go? You're just going to wipe it off. Take your aqua painter and then just squeeze the water through it until it runs clear. It is, like I said, it is going to stain it, but it's not going to hurt it. So just keep running the water through until it's clear. Okay. All right, and then for this one, just going to wipe this off. And I am going to take a sorry baby wipe and just get as much off as I can. All right, there we go. All right, so here is our splatter. That dries fairly quickly because it's not a whole lot of water. So we're gonna take our Tombow and put that all over the back. You want to use the Tombow on these deeply etched pieces of paper. It gets down in the grooves and it'll help it stick better. So this is going to go on top of here, trying to leave an even border on all 4 sides. Okay, there we go. I got a little glue right here, but all you have to do is wait for it to dry. Take your adhesive eraser and just wipe it off, just like that. All right. Next thing you're going to need is a piece of basic black, and this is 3/4 by about 3. You probably really only need about 2.5, but I just use 3 for good measure. So I took my embossing buddy and I ran that across. I'm going to take the saying from that same stamp set that says "Have a good day." Let's see. Have a happy day. I'm sorry. Have a happy day. I just want to make sure that that is straight. Okay, and then I'm going to take my Versamark. Okay, and I'm going to ink it up in Versamark, and I want it over on this side of the sentiment of the paper. So I'm going to bring it over a little bit because I do want to make kind of a flag end on it. And it's still a little crooked, but that's okay because I'm going to put it on there crooked. I'm just not having a good day today, am I? Oh well. Then I'm going to take my white embossing folder, embossing powder. And it looks like I got a little bit of excess right down here, so I'm going to get that off with my fingernail. And also, here is my paintbrush. If you get excess embossing powder like I did over here, even if you use your embossing buddy, just get a small paintbrush and use that to wipe it away. And then tap it off. Because the extra little pieces of embossing folder will show, especially on this black. Sun just went under. All right, so we'll get that on here. All right, now I'm going to take my heat gun. I'm going to turn that on. I'm going to let it heat for a second or two. And once it melts, move on. Okay. All right, now I'm going to take my scissors. I get all the excess embossing powder, embossing buddy powder off of there. All right, I'm going to take my snips. Somebody's still out on the motorcycle. And I'm going to snip that right down the middle and then on either side. There we go. And then I think I'm going to cut off about 1/2 inch. All right, so we're going to take our little chicken, and I'm going to put that on this piece of garden green, and I want to do it kind of cockeyed. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to turn that over, and I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of this. And I am going to put one right here in the middle because that will be what the sentiment hangs on to. All right, so we'll take our sentiment and we're just going to kind of put that on there. Like I'm putting it on there gently. So if I have to move it, I can, which I think I'm just going to move it just a hair. There. And then this is going to go on there catwampus also. Just like that. All right. For the inside, you're going to take a piece of Whisper White that is 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to take this little egg that's in the set also. And I'm going to ink him up, or her. And I'm going to stamp that twice down at the bottom here. All right. I'm going to wipe off my little egg, my chamois again. And then after I initially wipe it off with my chamois, then I take it and I use my Stampin' Scrub. Then it doesn't get your Stampin' Scrub as dirty. I'm going to take the Pumpkin Pie watercolor marker, and I'm just going to color in his little legs here. All right, then again I'm going to take my blender pen and I'm just going to wipe over those real quick. Or draw over them, I guess it is. Okay. Wipe that off. Then I'm going to take my clear Wink of Stella and I'm just going to give these little eggs a little bit of sparkle. And that is it. And then I will take some Fast Fuse, put that up at the top, and that goes right in the middle, trying to leave an even border on all 4 sides. And there you have it. So here's this one we just made. Here's the one that I made earlier. Cute, 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 cute. Okay, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave me a comment below. I'll be happy to answer them. All supplies can be purchased through my online store at www.happystamp.stampinup.net. Thank you for watching and have a great day. Bye.